Rounds or less, protect yourselves at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Third appearance of 2016 for Liverpool stalwart Paul Smith, part-time commentator with us these days, but he insists still a full-time fighter, not giving up on finding a way or trying to win a world title, but rebuilding still after that loss to the sensational Andre Ward, and then with the Hungarian Daniel Regi. Still chasing the dream. Matthew, you've recently given up. Paulie, still one or two things out there?
Possibly. You know, it's a sickness all us fighters have, you know, and so I totally understand it when, you know, even guys like Paul who's also, you know, trying to get that last world title shot, you know, I can totally get it. You know, it's a sickness we all have, and we get addicted to the adrenaline of the combat.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we need closure, don't we? So we don't want to be retiring and coming back. So sometimes we go on that year, that 18 months, a little bit too long just to get closure. And I think Paul just wants that final last throw of the dice. He thinks he can win a world title, and I think that's what he's still going for.
Well, he's only 33. He's had 43 fights, won 37 of them, and he's seen his brother Liam, of course, become a world champion. He flies out with trainer Joe Gallagher tomorrow for Liam's big match with Canelo Alvarez. He's seen Stephen have a world title chance, and Callum, many believe, will become a world champion. He led the way, and he doesn't want to be forgotten.
No, definitely not, Paul. I think Paul won the scene in 2003, 2004, so long-time pro, all-round good guy, and a big puncher.
His opponent not giving him a lot to work with, so Paul's trying to open him up with the jab.
Good right hand. Daniel Regi from the beautiful city of Budapest.
And you see Regi not really active in this round. I mean, he's kind of waiting for Paul to give him something, but Paul is shooting that jab out, trying to open him up a little bit.
He's had 41 fights, Regi, and won 28, but of his 13 defeats, 10 have come inside the distance, so this could be a quick job for Paul, or he might be looking to get rounds in as he hunts down another world title crack. Such a good division, isn't it?
Yeah, great division. Like I say, his brother Callum really closing in. Could be, you know, James DeGale there also. Callum Smith, you know, another 12 months time could be the best of the lot. But Paul, before his younger brother catches him up, wants to get in there first. Working the jab well enough here. I'd like to see him throw a few more feints.
Yeah,
just open this guy up a little bit more.
Exactly. Regi not really doing him any favors. I think he's more content to try to lose a decision here. It's going to be up to Paul to try to make the fight a bit.
A big swing and a miss from Paul Smith.
Yeah, you know, I don't think he's going to catch him with big single shots, because like you say, Paul, he's very kind of passive, very defensive. So I think Paul needs to kind of throw maybe 5 to land 3, or certainly feint a little bit more and open this guy up.
Very good point. Sometimes you want to throw the first 2 as bait shots, as bait, and then set the trap, and then maybe try to land the 3rd and 4th shots of the combination. Maybe get a reaction on those first 2 shots.
Making a new home.
Stabs to the body, jab head, stab body. Yeah, all right. Don't be trying to counter him yet unless he comes in, because it's too far distance-wise, yeah? Just move your feet back as it comes to you. 1 step back and stop throwing.
Red hot trainer Joe Gallagher, of course, has got a busy fortnight. Liam Smith out in Texas next week. I know you're going along to that, Matthew, as well. And then he's back for Anthony Crolla in that huge fight against Jorge Linares, the life of a trainer.
Yeah, Joe's very much the man of the moment at the minute in British boxing, even in world boxing. He's, you know, Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. He's got a great stable of fighters, and they're all got great work ethic, great bunch of lads, and the real camaraderie in that gym. And I like the advice that they gave Paul there. Don't look for the heavy shots, don't load up just yet. I mean, you don't ever want to load up ever in a fight, particularly early on. So you get your distance, you get your timing. So I think he just needs to get the jab going, a few more feints, and work the body as well, like Joe was telling him to.
Yeah, Matt, you know, I think Regi is more so looking for the big shots, so he's bracing for them. So if you maybe throw a couple of soft ones in there, a couple of feints in there, you know, use some of that as we talked about in the first round, use some of that as bait, you know, and then see what reaction Regi gives you off of those, and then you can load up those follow-up shots once you get the timing on the reactions.
Yeah, and it's no harm to even lure him into a false sense of security, kind of invite him to throw at you to get the openings clean.
Exactly. And that's where those traps come in, right?
Exactly.
He's listening to you. Good jab, always had. Paul Smith had a lovely body shot, whipped that in with the left hook.
And that was exactly what I was talking about. See, those first top two shots were a little bit soft, kind of try to get the gloves up of Regi, and then a hard body shot to the bottom.
Yeah, Paul's always been a really good body puncher. I think it's one of his, the strongest part of his game. He's a great body puncher.
And I like how he's not abandoning the jab, despite trying some harder offense. He goes back to the jab when they reset, and it's back to those basics, and that shows the veteran form. The veterans never forget the fundamentals as well. Sometimes when you're young, you get too excited, you start to lose your fundamentals when you get excited. But Paul lands a good body shot early, and then he's back to the jab and back to trying to set those traps.
Just been a long 13-year professional career, but he's also a very good amateur as well. Commonwealth Games silver medalist, so plenty of pedigree for the eldest of the four brothers, Paul. And still that jab, such an important weapon for him.
I'd like to see him maybe just mix the jab up a little bit more, maybe go head and body with the jab. Throw it light, even put a slower jab out there, then speed it up with a quick one. Just vary the speed, vary the angles, vary the power of the jab. He's got caught with the left hook there himself. Just needs to be careful of those kind of sucker punch counters.
Exactly, because guys that are trying to survive, like Regi, they just try to punch with you, and hope to try to get that money shot when they punch with you. Reggie's not initiating any offense, if you notice. He's just punching when Paul's punching. So it's got to be up to Paul to have that instinct as well.
Decent enough defense from Daniel Regi, who's well traveled. But this is his first fight in 42 contests to be in the UK. He's been all over Europe, though. He knows the job well.
Touching there, watch the counter, roll your head after it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And the third shot, straight down the middle, work the treat over there, but make sure you bring your feet up behind it, yeah? You don't finish with your head in the air.
Yeah, I think good advice there from Joe Gallagher. This guy, Daniel Regi, he's here to survive, really. He doesn't come here full of belief that he's going to win. He's tucking up, he's staying tight defensively, and he's just trying to get lucky at the odd time when Paul punches. He punches with him and tries to land like a sucker counter punch almost. So I think it's important for Paul to use feints and to punch in combinations. Guys who are tight defensively, you have to throw 3 and 4, 5 punch combinations. Might miss 1 and 2, but you'll land 3, 4 and 5. So I'd like to see Paul just throw a few more combinations now.
Regi shows a right hand there. Smith, the tight defence, was stopped by James DeGale and George Groves, and of course by Andre Ward. Had those tough fights with Arthur Abraham, the one he felt he won and should have become a world champion. It was closer than the scorecards on the night. The second one, Arthur Abraham back to form. Friend hat off, Matthew, can he become a world champion, Paul?
I mean, I hope so. It's a tough division, and he's probably at the wrong end of his career. He's at the twilight of it now, but certainly the 2 performances of Arthur Abraham was probably the best he'd boxed in maybe ever in his career. So I think it is in there. I think he just needs to be up for the fight. It needs to be a right challenge. I think if he can get himself into a world title shot, then he will. He has one more big performance left in him.
And that's the thing, Matt. As a veteran, you never want to say, "Oh, I don't quite have enough anymore." Especially when you still have a dream in your mind and you have a goal set in your head. You never want to tell yourself, "Oh, it's not enough in the tank." So, it's going to be up to Paul to summon up all the energy on the night that he is given another opportunity. But for now, he's got to focus on looking good enough to earn those opportunities. And against opponents like this, he wants to make sure he looks impressive.
There's that rematch between De Carolis and Tyrone Zoiga coming up. Good fight the first time around. He might be looking at the winner of that. So much happening in the super middleweight division. Talk of Badu Jack and James DeGale unifying. Callum Smith waiting in the wings as well, and George Groves, who gave that terrific performance against Martin Murray here not so long ago. It is absolutely cram-packed. Always has been good, the 12-stone brigade.
Yeah, and I think if Paul can rediscover the form he had in both Arthur Abraham fights, I think he could beat De Carolis or Zoiga.
Speaking of Abraham, he's also the guy that beat Abraham recently, Ramirez, Mexican.
He's very
top
good.
Rank, yeah. Tall southpaw.
Yeah, maybe the best in the bunch.
Yep. Swapping body shots, and that's a great one from Smith. A better one. Unleashed. And Regi has to take it. The count's at 6. He's going to make it. But that took the wind out of the sails, and can Smith build on it? He has been stopped 10 times. Daniel Regi, there's the breakthrough.
Great body punch by Paul Smith there, Adam. That's Paul Smith at his best. That's very stereotypical Paul Smith.
Absolutely.
Right uppercut, bring the gloves up, and then switch the attack downstairs.
Exactly, Matthew. That was what I was just going to say. The right uppercut was just the bait to get his gloves up, to get him to react to it.
How badly is he hurt, Regi? Can he recover from that, Paulie?
Well, the body shots stay with you. Matthew, what do you think?
He's still definitely feeling the effects, but I think Paul, he's got to be careful not to kind of throw the kitchen sink at him, not get him, and then he'll pay the price. So I think he just, the bell saved him a little bit there.
Yeah, well, I'll say that. Regi's happy the bell rang there. Get his breath.
Well, they were swapping leather to the body, and this was the best of the lot.
And that was it. Because what you do when you throw that right uppercut, now you're not only getting the gloves up of your opponent, you're also getting torque on your hip, because your hip is going in the direction where when you come back with the hook, you're generating a lot of leverage, a lot of momentum. So the uppercut does those two things. It gets the reaction, and it kind of cocks your hip so that when you can turn the hook over and generate more power on it.
Round 4. Second half of this international super middleweight contest. Paul Smith from Liverpool in the traditional black and gold, the real Gone Kid, and the blue of Daniel Regi from Hungary. He was the Hungarian light heavyweight champion at one stage. He's travelled to Germany, Denmark, France, Austria, Poland, Switzerland, Ireland, and now here in England. Well seasoned around the European circuit, but Paul Smith just finding that left hook to the body in the previous round to put him back in his place. Yeah,
and I think we know now, Paul knows he can hurt Daniel Regi to the body, so I think he should probably maybe focus his attack for the first part of this round on the head. Let Regi get full sense security, or focus his defense on the head shots, and then I think Paul will get the opening to the body again.
Yeah, and I just think Regi is going to remain defensive, so it's going to be important for Paul to continue that patient approach in the way that it's going to take setting traps, having those throwaway punches to set up the harder punches, and of course never abandoning his fundamentals. Regi's a veteran, he's dare I say journeyman. He knows how to survive in there.
Yeah,
well, he's won more than he's lost.
Yeah, and he came out at the start of the round and threw, probably 3 or 4 punch combination, probably something he hadn't done for the whole fight. So I think that was a case of letting Paul Smith know, I'm still here, I'm not going away.
He's still shooting out the right hands. Daniel Regi, there's a right though, back from Smith. Every time the Hungarian tries something, he's countered by a better shot from the Brit. Down for the second time in the fight, and a wry smile through the gum shield. He's sort of seen it all before, hasn't he?
Yeah, but that one definitely shook him. It was a right hook round the back of the ear. Lost his balance there momentarily. So it's a good thing for Paul now. He's hurting to the body and he's hurting to the head. So Regi will be very much under the cosh here now.
Yeah, and Adam, as you said, every time he tries something, which is why he doesn't really initiate much. He's only punching at most of the time when Paul initiates offense. So whenever he initiates, initiating sometimes means taking a risk, taking a chance, and Regi hasn't really had a lot of success when he's initiated.
That was a big shot, and down he goes again. 45 left of the fourth. I'm not sure how much more he can sustain of this now, Daniel Regi. Stopped in a couple of rounds by Luis Garcia. Also by the German prospect Dustin Dirks. Dan Smith finishes man, down again, and he bounced straight back up, but that's a count for the 4th time in 4 rounds, and it's getting more painful, and it's now a matter of time.
Yeah, well, I think Paul Smith has shook the rust off. He's kind of found his rhythm now. He's got his range, and he's starting to land his power shots.
Exactly, Matty. He's warmed into the fight now. He's more fluid. His punches are coming out, more sneaky. You can't really, Regi can't really get the timing on them.
Yeah, just got caught with a little left uppercut there. But there's the right hook again around the back of the glove.
Yep, still brave, but more power. A left hook right on the bell as well.
Yeah, Tom took that body shot with him to the corner, right?
For good measure. What a tough round for Daniel Regi.
getting scoring knockdowns both to the head and body.
I bet they're hoping this is the last round, but it's not. 2 more to go. Can Paul Smith find what will be his 22nd knockout in that long professional career, which he still hopes will be celebrated with a world title victory. Brother Stephen looking on, and Callum alongside, fighting later tonight. Liam already in America.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Paul gets him out of there in this round. If you look at the pattern of the fight so far, he was a little bit, his distance wasn't quite there first 2 rounds, his timing wasn't quite there. You know, then he scores a knockdown in the 3rd, he scores 2 knockdowns in the 4th. And, you know, Regi comes out sharp at the start of the round. You know, probably gets a talking to up the corner. But then as the sting leaves him, as Paul warms back into the round, kind of in the 2nd and 3rd minute, he starts landing cleanly.
Yeah, I think he's coming out a little sharper, Regi, because he knows, I think he wants to show Paul, hey, listen, I'm still live here. Don't go too crazy on me, you know? So maybe Paul will calm down.
How stubborn, though, and tough, as he tries here, Daniel Regi, earning every penny tonight.
Yeah, very much so. He's shown good toughness, and he's a real durable, gritty guy. But I think, you know, we're a minute.
And he really felt that one, and the gum shield's out, and that could be enough. The corner looking on 2. 5 times down again. He pulls himself up.
Yeah, and like I was saying, Adam, he comes out at the start of the rounds with a bit of, you know, a bit of ambition, or to try and kind of deter Paul. But then as that initial sting leaves him and he gets into the 2nd, 3rd minute of the round, that's when Paul starts to land the big stuff.
Paul, they want to try and get him through it so he can fight again next week, but should they be the corner?
I don't know, man. You know, I thought he could have lost a point there. In the U.S., you spit your mouthpiece out on purpose on a count, you lose a point.
Yeah, and Paul's smelling the blood now. He's going
big punches. Regi comes back with a couple of his own toe-to-toe action here in the 5th. And Smith believes he can take his man out, finally. And so close.
And it might be Regi's last stand here. You know, I think he's trying to make one last stand because he knows Paul's hurting him every time.
Another body shot. He's ripping in Paul Smith. It's a long way from top world class, but he's still showing that he's got something to offer here, Paul Smith.
I think that's it, Adam. Now I don't see him getting off.
Surely.
I think so.
And finally, it is over.
Merciful stoppage by the ref, and very good stoppage by the ref. There was just no need to continue.
No, definitely not. Good stoppage by the ref.
Job done for Paul Smith, as he makes it 38 victories and continues the comeback after that rather bizarre fight with Andre Ward, wasn't it? He was never really going to win it. He messed up the weight. It was all a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, he went out there, kind of left it a bit late, a lot of water attention, did the weight wrong. You know, Andre Ward, arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right up there with Gennady Golovkin, who's the main event tonight. But yeah, you know, he put in a credible performance. I think when it was the 7th or the 8th round, got the nose broke, you know, kind of went out on his shield as he always does. He's a tough guy, proud guy. But he looked vicious in there tonight. I thought he really banged the shots in.
And he's reeling off about 3 straight wins now since the Ward fight, 3 or 4 straight wins, you know. And then so, you know, he's reeling off the wins, which gives him confidence. It also getting the wins in a row. He's a veteran with a name, so it'll help him getting him a bigger fight.
And Bar Ramirez really are options, aren't there, for him, especially in Europe with the connection with Eddie Hearn and the Sauerlands. So Paul Smith probably will get another world title tilt. He's still on course.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes and 16 seconds of round number 5, where Jeff Hines stops the contest. In his opinion, Daniel Regi in no position to continue. The winner from Liverpool, Paul Smith.
For the Smiths, Paul does his bit. Callum coming up later, and of course Liam over in America next week. The